What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline to Sideline. And right now, I'm just joined with the man, the myth, the legend, the prince of production, Kyle Edwards. How you feeling tonight, Kyle?
I'm good. It's the stretch to the playoffs. Every game is that much more important. It's only like a few teams in each conference that have a shot at the playoffs now, so good time of the year to talk some football.
I agree. I also think that it's good that our teams are successful, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
years we've gotten on here where the Patriots were not the Patriots. They're great this year. I know Brett's running because that's why he's not here tonight. Brett's running because his Packers lost Micah Parsons and they're falling apart. But that's okay. We still love Brett. Godfrey should be joining us shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Fashionably late as per usual. We got a lot to get into, though. A lot to get into in the NFL slate, talking about some football. I'd love to get your opinions on some stuff. I do have a fantasy question that I'm going to be asking all night. I might even put it on the friggin' message and just be like, have everybody all night comment on it. But I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah.
You're a Patriots fan. We're going to open with you, though. Last week was 21-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Portnoy gets on TV and bashing everybody, saying ha ha ha, and I don't necessarily know that he should have did that, but that's what happened. So your thoughts on the Patriots? Is it a good thing to lose that game? They still have the fast track to to winning that division and having a home playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the Patriots versus Buffalo Bills?
I mean, so before the season, I predicted they were going to split. I'm not going to lie. Watching the first half, I thought the Patriots were going to actually sweep the season series, and that would have been definitely interesting to see kind of the conversation around them. But I think this is what Buffalo does because they're like one of the best teams plus minus. Point differential in the second half. The Patriots are one of the best in the first half. So we saw a really good Patriots team in the first half. Second half, Buffalo's defense just was better. Their defensive line controlled things. Josh Allen, look, there's only so long you can keep him down. You definitely saw him become more comfortable and what the Patriots were running against him. So I came out of the game thinking, for a Patriots team that had just won 10 straight, it's not the end of the world that they lost to Buffalo. They still split with them. They still have the division lead. They still have their path to winning the division. I think for Buffalo, I feel like some people were kind of wavering a few weeks ago on whether or not Buffalo was still a good team or whatever. I think that game showed you that they're still a problem. I also think it's also going to show why Allen, McDermott, Buffalo will have the most pressure in the playoffs. Because people are just going to look at potential quarterback matchups for Josh Allen and just go, hey, Josh Allen's better. Buffalo should win. This is Buffalo's year to make the Super Bowl with no Burrow in his way, no Mahomes, and potentially no Lamar. So, I mean, look, I think it was a good battle between two good teams. I think Patriots Buffalo will be, a great matchup for years to come. I was actually happy about that.
So one thing that bothers me about the Buffalo Bills and about Josh Allen in particular, and I brought this up last night, I brought it up on the morning show on Monday. I feel like Josh Allen gets the credit and praise of like Superman putting on his cape. We've all heard that line, right? Mm-hmm. Superman putting on his cape. Josh Allen just doing it all when they win. But when they lose, it's always, well, the team is just terrible around them. It's an awful team and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's annoying from an outsider's perspective because Josh plays a role in that, right? We talk about, they don't have anybody. I don't agree with that stuff. Hey, Just wondering, do you know where Dalton Kincaid was drafted? What round, Kyle?
I believe he was like mid to late first round. Yeah,
First round. How about Keon Coleman? Where's he drafted?
was he late first round?
First round. I mean, now they have Brandon Cooks. Now they have Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer. I don't James Cook's top 5 back in football, maybe top 10.
Yeah.
I don't understand how when they're great, it's just Josh. And when they're bad, it's the team stinks.
I think part of that, like I saw it with, Brady's run, and now this is kind of Mahomes' run. So at a certain point, it always becomes who's the next guy to take over. Like Brady, it'd be like, oh, this is Big Ben's year, or it was Breeze or whoever, and then Brady would beat them. I think now with Mahomes out, and a lot of people trying to kick dirt on just the whole dynasty in general with the Chiefs. Everybody's trying to get ahead of the trend to find the next team and the next quarterback to be the guy. Because of this season Lamar's had, because I feel like if Lamar and the Ravens were in Buffalo's position, Lamar would probably be getting kind of the same treatment because they would want to elevate him to get past Mahomes. I think that Josh Allen, I guess, is really likable. I think the Bills Mafia is likable. They like their community, and I feel like there's a lot of people who just want to see Buffalo finally get that Super Bowl. That I guess Josh is kind of getting that treatment this year. Like I think he's a really good player, but I agree with you. He can also be his worst enemy, where he can sometimes be careless with the ball. His decision making, especially in the playoffs, can be a little iffy, but that's what I'm saying. This is the year that he's gonna have to do it. If he goes out and loses wild card weekend to like the Jags or something, I think the narrative around him will be a little different. But I think people are just assuming that with the unproven guys in the AFC, that the Bills are just gonna get in there and kind of dominate. I don't know if I would agree with that because a couple of tough defenses he'd have to go through. I mean,
I'll get another guy's opinion on this. My man, taking it deep with D. Godfrey is now joining us. Godfrey, how you feeling, buddy?
Feeling good. Good to be talking football again with the boys. You know what I mean? It's been a little bit.
I want to apologize, by the way. Now I got both of you guys here. Life is really life since Thanksgiving. I had my wisdom teeth removed. My mom was in the hospital in the ER. Not good stuff, but I'm back. I'm back better than ever. Matter of fact, I plan on going live on Christmas morning. I don't care. No, if someone wants to join me, awesome. If not, no biggie. I'm back, though. Sideline to Sideline will be running through the Super Bowl. We're talking Josh Allen here, Godfrey. And the one thing I bring up is, and by the way, I see your comments. I'm going to get to each one of them. 3D, I got you, brother. I'm going to get through each one. Godfrey's gone again. But let's get
I think 3D does bring up a point. Like people look at Josh Allen and they say, who's his best weapon? And then compare to the other really good quarterbacks. I under the impression that if you are a top level quarterback, yes, your offensive weapons can affect you, but it shouldn't be the thing that sinks your team. Like you have to elevate a guy or two to be a little bit better than they normally would be if you're a great quarterback. So, yes, James Cook is great. I feel like Keon Coleman, if he would get out of his own way and not do the stuff like off the field with getting in trouble with the team and stuff, he could probably be a good wide receiver. You mentioned the tight ends. Like Kincaid is a talented wide receiver. Even Knox is not a terrible secondary tight end, so they may not be household names, but Josh Allen has players on that Bills offense.
What we're talking about, Godfrey, is we want to I just feel like that Josh Allen gets all the credit when the Buffalo Bills win. And then when they lose, it's the team stinks. So I just want to get your opinion on that. Like, is Josh Allen really just Superman? He just carries the team with no help anywhere?
I think they got a better offensive line. They're underrated offensive line. They don't get talked about enough in Buffalo. I do think their offensive line does a good job. Their running game does a good job. I do think the receivers are leaving a little bit to be desired. I do think he does carry the team line. I mean, there's a couple wins where they should have been dead to rights against the Bucs and the Bengals. Now, one's a borderline playoff team right now, fighting to stay in a division race, but their defense gives up a lot of points on the ground.
Yeah,
they're not world beaters. So I don't know, man. I think I just have this feeling about him this year because you've seen it go the other way sometimes for that team, where he's trying to make a comeback, trying to do something, and then the ball bounces the wrong way. He fumbles on the goal line, a la the Vikings in 1 year. And I just, he does probably get more credit than he should get the credit, but he probably doesn't get enough flack for when they lose. But, that's the quarterback world, right? I mean, he should get a little bit more. I haven't seen really stretches of bad play from him this year. I think people hype up other quarterbacks, and when they lose, they seem to forget about it. Like Matthew Stafford, they were like MVP, and then he laid an egg, and I'm like, interesting. Which they're going to lose tonight. Rams are going to lose, but anyway, we'll talk.
I agree. I like Seattle. Did you see the question that's on the bottom?
What's that?
Should Gene bench Kenneth Walker in fantasy football? My only other options are Chuba Hubbard, who's like a backup running back, and Audric Estime, who's starting Sunday for the Saints. God.
Well, it's at home. The thing about Kenneth Walker is he does get touches. Charbonnet will get mixed in there, so he might vulture a touchdown, but I would go with the short touches in that situation. You don't know what's going to have of Audric Estime. That's a gamble, especially on a bad team. So I'm going with a team that has something to play for. And on a short week, one would think, there's going to be a little bit more running of the ball. We'll see. I would go Kenneth Walker. That's just me.
He's just been so bad recently, and it's like one of those leagues where I'm playing against him in 3 leagues, Godfrey, and I only have him in 1. Mm-hmm. So I just want to full root against him. And he's been so bad. And what I'm going to watch tonight is I'm going to watch him on Thursday Night Football, give me 3 points, and I'm going to be behind the 8 ball.
Or you can watch him get a solid 15, and then you're trying to beg at the god or the altar of Audric Estime on Sunday. You're like, why am I here watching Audric Estime when I wouldn't give a shit about him otherwise?
Dylan Holmes says, I'm going to say my Bears win 27-24 over Packers. No one asked you. I'm kidding. We'll get to the Bears Packers, I promise. Just messing with you. Let's move on. Couple absolute injuries that happened this week in the NFL. Davante Adams, I don't even know how he was listed as doubtful. He should be on IR. That hamstring injury looked awful. If I'm the Rams, my main goal is getting him back for my first playoff game. I'm not worried about this week. I'm not worried about next week. I'm like, dude, get that shit fixed. Make sure it's good come playoff time. I don't care if the Rams are a wild card team. I mean, listen, granted, I think the Rams lose tonight, and I think that they become a wild card team, and I don't think that's the end of the world for them. I think Davante Adams is one of those ones where you kind of have to play it safe. The other two, Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons, with season-ending ACL injuries, and both of them are going to kick into next year. Mm-hmm. I think not only, and listen, when we talk about, I think the Packers defense goes from an A to an A- with losing Micah Parsons. I don't think they lose too much. I mean, obviously he's an incredible player, but I don't think the defense just now is bad. I think Hafley is a great defensive coordinator. I think Green Bay defense has been good with Micah Parsons, and obviously they've been a little bit better with him versus without him. But with Mahomes, I have now officially eliminated the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they're eliminated from the 2025 playoffs. We all knew that. I've eliminated them from the 2026 playoffs. They're now eliminated next year. Your thoughts on the major injuries? Which one has the biggest impact to you? And what are your thoughts? Godfrey, I'll start with you, brother.
Micah Parsons, I think that's a bigger impact than. I mean, if we're talking about into next year, right? The impact.
We're talking about the injury as a whole.
Oh,
Adams, you could argue because he has a bigger impact this year. His role, Michael Parsons, Patrick Mahomes, because of next year. Which injury has the biggest impact?
I think the biggest impact is going to be Michael Parsons then, because here's the thing: let's be honest here. I'm sorry, Brett, if you're listening, Packers fans, you're trying to get over that hump. The hump is get to the Super Bowl. You've been winning a lot of games, a lot of seasons. Jordan Love looks good. Things look good. People are getting healthy on the receiver side of the ball. But Parsons, they were talking about that was the missing piece when he came. So fans who thought that you can't back off now into the bushes like Homer Simpson, because that's what we're saying, Super Bowl Packers, right? Now, I think that he does add an element to their defense, and I think they're going to miss that. So I think they become a little bit easier to play. I think that's going to have a huge impact. I don't think they're going to be a walkover, a pushover team, or like a team that you could just, do whatever you want offensively. But I do think that it's going to take that element away, and I don't really see how you replace that. Devontae Adams, you can't really replace him, but he was your 1B. I know he had a lot of touchdowns, but I still think Puka Nacua is the straw that makes it, or the straw that makes the drink stir on the Chiefs passing game. The Rams passing game. So I again, will have an impact, but I think you'll see Colby Parkinson maybe become, red zone target, right? So I don't know. That's Micah's, I think, is a big blow.
George's Mahomes for next year. Kyle, what's your thoughts on the three?
I mean, look, the Packers did a lot for going to get Micah, and Micah was supposed to have that impact this year. So obviously that's the biggest, probably short term. I think when you're looking at Mahomes, I feel like the way this season was going, I don't know how optimistic necessarily you were about next year anyway, because I think the Chiefs are in that position where they have to rebrand a little. Like, you have to get ready for life after Kelsey. You have to get the O-line. You have to get, probably a running back in there, even though the O-line affects that. The wide receiver position's been hit or miss. I feel like it's been pretty much disappointing most of the season. And they have some aging guys on defense as well. So I feel like next year was going to be not necessarily a down year, but I don't think it's going to be a great year for the Chiefs. So I think Mahomes has a bit more room to work with. Now, Devontae Adams is interesting because we know Puka Nacua is who he is. Like, he just finds ways to get open. But Adams was also taking some pressure off of him. And I do think that could be the more impactful injury, because the Rams are a team that's right there looking to win a Super Bowl this year. They don't know how many more years they have with Stafford. I mean, I've heard like some reports that Stafford could be done after this year for all we know. And I think that injury probably will be the most impactful this year.
Can we get a moratorium on retirement speculation? If there's been retirement speculation 2 years in a row, I don't care about it anymore. You retire when you retire. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like Stafford, his ribs hurt, his wife's mad, this, that, and that. Shut up. Just play. Will you retire? I don't care. It's next season. The thing about Adams, I think that people don't think about that it will hurt them, is because he is a backup plan, because there could be number one receivers on a lot of teams in this league, both of those guys. Puka Nacua plays really aggressive, hard style. And I know that sounds weird saying that in football, but he does have an injury history. He does get hurt. And if he gets hurt and Adams is out, they're shit out of luck. And so that, I think, was always part of the reason they brought him in, plus his skill and his red zone presence. So Yeah, it's a big loss. I thought we were talking about last year or next year. Next year, I think Mahomes. I wouldn't doubt Andy Reid. I've seen Andy Reid many times pull a quarterback out of nowhere and just make a playoff run. So I think the old coach can find someone and do it. I wouldn't put it past him.
We got some big matchups this week, but I'd be remiss if I didn't go over some things that happened last week. By the way, just to answer that question, for my opinion, I think the biggest impact is going to be Patrick Mahomes, because I think now you're looking at the fact that the Chiefs are not a playoff contender next year. I think they're done next year.
Does Andy Reid retire after this year, you think?
I don't think so. But Cottrell was talking about this last night. Like, well, Mahomes would probably come back by week 5 from the ACL injury. Probably start the season not ready and come back by week 5. Even if he comes back week 5, that's no training camp. There's no preseason. Like, you're expecting, and they have such a. Everybody's talking about the Chiefs. Like, well, they'll have a 3rd place schedule. Did you guys see the Chiefs' 3rd place schedule next year? It's absurd. Their away games outside of their division, being the Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers, they have to go to Buffalo, to the Rams, to Miami, to Seattle, to the Bengals, and to the Falcons. Their home games are New England, the New York Jets, the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Texans. It's not an easy schedule.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing I like to add to that.
You're eliminated.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback.
Great quarterback.
But he is not an Adonis of workout. He's not a DK Metcalf. He's not an Adrian Peterson. So don't get it. I'd be very surprised if he pulled off that Adrian Peterson recovery. Remember when Adrian Peterson shredded his knee? We were like, how is this guy back at full strength?
Yeah, he was incredible.
That will not be Patrick Mahomes unless he changes it. He is definitely the dude that throws touchdowns and is eating pudding on the couch and drinking some soda. Or like, I'm sorry, he's not that dude, and that's fine. He doesn't have to be. I'm just saying that relates to and how quick you're going to recover from injury like that. You got to put the work in. You got to be like a Metcalf or like someone like that, like, you know, physical specimen, like a TO.
I guess we'll talk about it more. Godfrey, your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders this past week? I know he's a hot button topic in the NFL. He was brutal this week. It's good 2 weeks ago. You think so? Like, I guess the funny part is if you were redrafting this quarterback class, the 2025 quarterback class, what would your thoughts be? Like, just to be clear, it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, who hasn't played, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, and then a bunch of guys that haven't played. I remember doing this vividly, and I said, I think Quinn Ewers is the best quarterback in this class. And he got drafted in the 7th round. He's now starting for the Miami Dolphins this week.
Is Tua hurt? Did I miss that? Or is it just they benched Tua?
Yep. Yeah.
God, that contract was awful in these.
So I go Quinn 1. I'm not changing my pick on Quinn 1. That's what I had. Cam 2, Jackson 3, Shedeur 4.
I believe when I did it, I went Quinn 3, Dart 1, and Cam 2, and maybe Shedeur 4.
I don't remember that. I'm not going to pretend I remember where you went, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was higher on Jackson Dart, and I didn't think he'd be. I just thought he was a good prospect. Is it the quarterback? Yeah, Shedeur, man, like he's the product of the hype of his father, and I hate to say that because I was rooting for the kid, but dude, even the game again, I saw people talking about, oh man, look how good he did against the Titans. I'm like, you squeeze me? Like, I'm like, sir. First of all, Titans have nothing to play for. Awful team. Second of all, like when you look at him on the field, he looks lost at certain points. And
they lost the game to the Titans.
Yeah.
So
but but you wouldn't if you didn't look at the box score and you saw how so many people were talking about him, you would have thought it went the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have thought it went the other way. I mean, I was in group chats and they're like, Cleveland's on a bad team. You grow with Shador, and I'm like watching this. I'm like, I'm not even responding to this group chat. This is bullshit right here. Like, I'm just like, oh, the Browns got to build around him. I'm like, build around what? You know what I mean? Like
400 total yards and 4 touchdowns. It was definitely his best game. I thought it was better than the Raiders game. The Raiders aren't really a good team. I think it was his best game. I just don't think that the Titans are world beaters. So
no.
When the Bears play him and they beat him 31-3, and he has a QBR of 8, those guys that were just hyping him up aren't really doing that anymore.
Shador Sanders is the reason why you should never be in a super flex league. Okay, there's not enough good quarterbacks, and you're going to be late in the season. And you're going to be like, all right, yeah, quarterback injured. Oh, Shador, you'll be starting for me. So, I don't know, man. Like, I want to see the kid do well. I think it's great theater if he was doing well. I'm not going to root for someone to fail, but at the same time, man, like he just doesn't have maybe he develops more of a season, and I'll say I was wrong, but the eye test shows that he has no shot at adjusting to the speed of the game of the NFL. And maybe he goes somewhere, but he's definitely the type of quarterback that needs to sit for 2 or 3 years, without a doubt. And then maybe.
I think the problem is if he has a good box score type of game, the people who push the draft narrative about he shouldn't have been a 5th-round quarterback, they all jump at that and leech onto it. But then, like you said, he struggles against the Bears. You hear nothing from those people. They just act like Shador didn't play a game or anything like that. That I don't think is like fair or right, but it's also something we saw at Colorado. Travis Hunter was the prize, but they kept kind of latching Shador onto him and like both of them into a stratosphere. I agree with Godfrey. The fact that people kind of look game to game and push certain narratives, Shador just shows he's not a complete quarterback. And I think there's questions about whether or not he's a bona fide starting quarterback right now. He's just a starting quarterback in Cleveland because Cleveland's quarterback situation is just horrible. And maybe all he's shown was maybe Dylan Gabriel should have been the 5th-round pick and he could have been the 3rd-round pick. That might be all he's shown. Anything outside of that, like I'm not going to hear that, he should have been like the first quarterback taken because we've seen some people throw that out there, which is clearly them just being on the hype train. So hopefully he gets better. Maybe if he wasn't Deion's kid, he might have that opportunity to. But because Deion's still around and Deion's very vocal, Shador's just going to be in the limelight, for good or worse.
In the top 10, let's pretend. Who would have been a worse draft pick, Anthony Richardson or Shador Sanders?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. So I'm giving Shador that. He can at least throw the rock. You know what I mean? Somewhat.
I don't think Shador's going to be bad. I really don't.
I think he needs to develop. He needs to develop, though. I really do.
The problem is this, right? And it's funny because I shared something earlier with a couple people, and it's a video that's surfacing online. It has nothing to do with sports. But people are walking through like a Walmart and asking people, how do you think the president's doing? And everybody, it's either amazing or awful.
Yeah.
And then they showed another video of how do you think the president's doing 4 years ago when it was Joe Biden, and it was either amazing or awful. And I think that in a world that we live in, you have to lock into a take, and that's got to be your take. And I don't agree with that. I think Shador has shown flashes of why he can be an NFL quarterback. I also think Shador has shown why he was drafted in the 5th round. So I have him 4th, and I think that's generous. Like, there's people that can have other people over him. I always have liked Quinn Ewers. So I don't want to get off that track.
I think Quinn Ewers is an excellent pick for that offensive system, believe it or not.
I agree.
I think I think he might save Mike McDaniel's ass if he has.
We'll find that out. And they get the Bengals the first week, so that's nice.
No, that's a nice layup right there. Woo. What a
Guys,
warm up.
7:30, 30 minutes in. I want to talk about NFL awards before we get into previewing this week because we got a big game tonight. And I just want to get your opinions. Don't look up the odds. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you the finalists for the awards, and I want you to tell me who do you think should win. Is that fair?
Yep.
MVP, the 3 top finalists for MVP in the NFL this year: Matthew Stafford, Drake May, and Josh Allen.
I will say, because I'm assuming people have recency with the second half of the Patriots-Bills game, I will say Stafford slightly ahead.
Well, I'm asking you who your pick is. You're the writer. Yeah, I know, Jory. I don't think Josh Allen should be on that page either. I agree. He's third. I'm just telling you.
That's probably the surprise name that Josh Allen's third. But I would say, if I had to cast a vote, I'd probably go Stafford slightly ahead.
Who's your pick? Godfrey.
Allen. I listen.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look.
You think Josh Allen's the MVP of the league right now?
I mean, I look at that as a quarterback award. So
Matthew Stafford's not having a better year than him?
I mean, Matthew Stafford's been kind of pedestrian the last 2 out of 3 games. I mean,
Lord.
You don't think he has? Did you not watch those games? What about against the game against Seattle? I'm telling you, got to see it tonight. Like, I like Matthew Stafford. I just don't know. Like, it goes up and down.
Allen had a stretch where he was pedestrian.
He did.
Yeah, I remember that Falcons game. I'm now forgetting the schedule, but this Falcons game was like the game where I watched it and I was like, yeah, Allen looks, something's off with him. So, I mean, you're talking about
what are the
Allen
signature
had
wins
a
that you
long
see
stretch,
for Stafford? Signature wins. Give me 2, 3 this season.
I'll pull up the Rams schedule.
For me, it was the Bengals and the Buccaneers. They were dead to rights in those games.
Okay, they beat the Jaguars 35-7. They beat the 49ers in San Francisco 42-26. They beat the Seahawks 21-19. They beat the Bucs 34-7. They beat the Lions 41-34.
Which the Seahawks missed a field goal at the end and could have beat them, and they couldn't put them away with 4 interceptions.
So the Lions 41-34. We'll ignore that, right?
That was a good game.
Okay.
I mean, I
know you don't like Matt Stafford.
No, it's not that. I just don't see a signature win from him. Like, I'm looking at.
Yeah, I feel like Allen's a distant third from those 3.
I think he's absolutely.
I mean, you think Drake May?
My pick's been Drake May since week 5.
Hey, listen, Drake May's playing it. I got a lot of Drake May rookie cards, so I hope he wins that MVP. But I'm saying, in the world of worlds, okay, all things equal, there's what you want and what we know will happen. Do you think of those 3 that Drake May will win the MVP award? How things fold out with voting on these awards? Short of, like, do you think? I mean, I would say he's the 3rd least likely out of those 3 to win the MVP. You might feel he's better.
Just to be clear, and I know that you're not I know that you're not that educated on their stats this year. Matt Stafford has 3,722 yards going into tonight with 37 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Like, I know that you're not that into the stats. Josh Allen's got 3,200 yards with 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Like, what are we talking about?
Hold on. Can we not forget the rushing numbers, please?
Sure. I'll add Josh Allen's rushing numbers. I got you, brother. We're not going to forget the rushing stats for Josh Allen.
I mean, I'd be hypocritical of being an Eagles fan if I didn't.
Understood. I got you. Cool. I got you.
Maybe it's not that impressive, but
he has 535 rushing yards and 12 rushing touchdowns.
That's pretty significant.
37 total touchdowns. Stafford has 37 passing. He has 37 total. He has 15 turnovers. He has 5 fumbles, 10 interceptions, and they both have 3,700 yards.
Yeah, well, he's been doing a lot better protecting the ball this year than usual, Miss Stafford. I'll give him that for sure.
I don't
know. I'm looking at Drake May stats. That'd be crazy if he won.
It's actually funny.
I wouldn't be
Stafford
against
has
it.
193 rushing yards this year. So
Is that is that an all-time high for him? Because
it might be. No, he normally gets about 200 a season.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Drake May's looking real good too. I don't know.
Drake May comparatively is at 3,500 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. How many rushing yards does he have? I mean, I'm sure he has more than Matthew Stafford.
Oh,
rushing,
what? Yeah, 100%. It's like,
well, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It looks like about 300 and change. Am I wrong here? Let me see. I just make it easier for me to view a quarterback's rushing stats.
I mean, does James Cook? I think he's a good running back.
362. I was really close.
Do you think James Cook is as good as a running back if, in that system without Josh Allen? Do you think he gives him a little bit more lane to run?
Yeah, I think Josh Allen definitely helps James Cook. I think Josh Allen's a good quarterback. I just think you're a stan.
No, I'm looking at signature wins. I think it's going to come down between Stafford and Allen. I don't see them giving it to May. I just don't see it happening.
I think it's Stafford or May.
I think it's Stafford. All right, next award. Offensive Player of the Year. I think this was close a while ago. I think JSN is running away with it. But your top 3 finalists are JSN, Jonathan Taylor, and Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I'm going JSN.
Yes, JSN.
I think JSN might fucking break records this year.
People in the offseason were saying he's a slot receiver. I don't know what they're doing, putting him to doing this, that, this. He can't do that, and that he is smashing. Even when Darnold has a bad game, he still has a good game.
Yeah. You guys are not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. The top 3 finalists for Comeback Player of the Year: Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to skip number 2, and Dak Prescott. If you guys guess who number 2 is for Comeback Player of the Year, I might fall out of my chair without looking.
I kind of assumed it was probably like Daniel Jones or something.
Daniel Jones is not in the no. I'll even tell you 4. 4 is Trevor Lawrence. Jory got it. First shot.
Oh.
Philip Rivers is number 2 for Comeback Player.
And you expect me to take these rankings seriously?
Okay.
Where are these rankings coming from, Philip? Where? FanDuel? Is this fan voted?
It's odds.
They are looking to suck some money out of people right now. That's all I know. Ooh, Philip, like that is a piece of bait I've ever seen one in my life. What is it? What's the odds on it? What's the odds?
Bose. He's plus 600.
Oh yeah, they're definitely farming and raking for like $5-10 Joey bag of donuts bets. I'll throw 25 on Philip Rivers. She had a good week last week. They'll take your 25 times a million people. Yeah, they should be investigated for those odds. It has no. They want to Chauncey Billups. The same people that are watching you are watching FanDuel right now. Okay,
yeah,
you got to be.
CMC's got to be the pick here, right? I mean, Trevor Lawrence is probably up there. But he didn't. Where did he come back from? Sucking at the end of last year.
I can't even. I'm rooting for Trevor Lawrence. Again, I collect cards and I have a lot of Trevor Lawrence rookies, so I'm rooting for my guy. However, I didn't know comeback awards were coming back from a bad year. I
think he was injured at the end of last year, but
yeah, he was. But yeah, I remember that now. But like. I think CMC was a lot more significant of an injury. His impact on the team.
Running away with it. Miles Garrett's running away for DPOY.
Mm-hmm. Dude, what DP? Well, how about this? If he crushes that sacker, can he be Defense Player of the Year and MVP? Is that possible?
Jordan, I have no idea. I'm just reading you the.
I guess we're giving him credit if he just makes it through 4 games. I guess that's good enough.
AP NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, this is a good one. I'm going to give you the top 4 here. I actually think I should give you the top 6. Tyler Warren, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Ted McMillan, Emeka Igbuka, or Trevion Henderson? Who is your AP Rookie of the Year?
Who was the first one you said?
Tyler Warren.
I like McMillan personally.
Ted? Okay. He's been bad recently.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I like Ted too. I love Ted. I'm a big Ted fan, but he's been bad.
I might go Homer.
Yeah,
I might go Homer. I think Trevion could make a late run at that one.
By the way, Jory and Kyle, I want to take a shot at both of you guys. You guys love Mike Vrabel so much, and this idiot had Trevion Henderson, who's the much better running back.
I told you about that, though. Early in the season, he was running into blocks and not getting yards. They wanted him to change that. And he's
pass protection, too. Wasn't a pass protection an issue, too?
They wanted him to get better at those two aspects first.
I also said he's the best running back in this class over Ashton Genty, and that gets overlooked.
Yeah. I mean, the Genty thing, I still don't understand. You have no O-line and you took a running back.
Dumb. The Raiders are
like, what are we doing here?
The Raiders are lost.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll was out back, doing putt-putt on his porch or, hitting golf balls off the back porch. And they're like, we're going to run the ball. Yeah, Genty. That's all that happened.
Dude, Godfrey, did Raiders look like they were put together with like an automatic randomizer? They're like, oh, coach, Pete Carroll, quarterback, Geno Smith, first draft pick. We'll go with Genty.
They're the Las Vegas replacements. Shane Falco is going to come out and start the last game for him. Because
where are they good? They're only good at one position on the whole football field, and it's tight end.
Yeah.
And they drafted Michael Mayer, I think the 35th pick, or the end of the first round, or beginning of the second round. And then next year they drafted Brock Bowers in the first round, 14th overall. I just can't we're so good. We have a luxury of picks. So we're going to take two tight ends.
They're lucky that they're in Vegas, because if they were still in Oakland, there would be nobody going to those games. Nobody's traveling to Oakland to go see a team play. Even Eagles fans are like, I'm not messing with Oakland. There's the Raiders are lucky they're in Vegas, because no one, they would be the most irrelevant franchise in football right now. They're awful. And I contend that they're never going to get better until that owner gets a different haircut, because it is putting a dark cloud on that franchise. That is the worst haircut I've seen in humankind. I'm sorry. And it's not even a toupee. I don't even know how it's possible.
Who's your pick for offensive rookie year?
Oh, I went Tack. But who was the first one that was in?
Tyler Warren, tight end for the Colts, brother. You went Ted. Kyle went Trevion. I'm going Trevion also. He's been winning me a couple fantasy leagues. And then AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's down to three people. James Pierce, Nick Emanwari, and Carson Schlesinger. Carson Schlesinger, if you don't know who he is, he's a freaking linebacker for the Browns, and he's a beast.
He's a tackle machine, yeah.
Nick Emanwari, I think, is my pick. He's a safety for Seattle Seahawks. You're going to see a lot of him tonight. Mm-hmm. And then James Pierce is a great DN. He's out of Tennessee. Not Tennessee Titans. He's out of Tennessee. But he's been great this year. And it's just, I don't know. I just like watching all three of them play football. I think they're great. All things said and done, I think Pierce has been great for the Falcons. But I think it's a two-dog race. And my pick goes to Emanwari.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I would go
impact right away. I mean, that defense is
incredible. Now let's get into the games. We're going to go through some of the big games this week and give our picks. Starting with tonight, huge game tonight. LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 1.5 point favorites. Over/under is 42.5. Godfrey, what do you got in this game? What's your pick? What's the score? How do you see it?
I got the Seahawks. I would be okay taking them by plus 6.5. Actually, I have no problem. I'm at minus 6.5. Sorry. Right. Yeah, minus 6.5. And I think that the defense is going to come out humming. They feel like they're 0-1. They gave the Rams all they could handle while still spotting 4 turnovers from Sam Darnold. And they almost still got away with it. If they could have got that field goal through, they didn't. And they weren't able to shut down JSN. He was still productive. Kenneth Walker was actually surprisingly productive. I think that they're going to win this game going away, and I think I just don't see them going into Seattle, especially being down Devontae Adams. The only thing I will say that could put a bugaboo in my pick is Charles Cross is also out. So, but I think that they're going to be fine. I think that defense is last time I saw them on primetime, they were pretty nasty. So, I can't see it. Short week, I think advantage goes to the defense in this game.
I love the Seahawks tonight. I really do. I think the Seahawks win this football game. I think it's rather low scoring. I think the Seahawks defense is very good. I think it ends up being a 23-14 game. I think the Rams are always trying to fight from being behind. If I'm the Seattle Seahawks, and I think Mike McDonald's a great defensive head coach, if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, I'm saying, hey, guys, I don't care who beats me tonight as long as it's not Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I'll put 3 guys on. I don't understand why more teams don't do that when Devontae Adams isn't playing.
They're not scared of Jordan Whittington?
No.
Or Colby Parkinson?
Yeah,
Who? Nah, man. That's my thing. That's why the Adams is a great receiver. And I just think that is gonna give the team the ability to put more focus on Puka Nacua. And he plays tough. So he gets hurt a lot. I mean, that's it's not his problem, but it's his nature of play. It's always been like that. So
all right, next big game on the docket. It's coming Saturday afternoon, or Saturday night. I'm going to skip the Eagles game. The Eagles are going to win. They better. The Green Bay Packers are going to travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. No Micah Parsons, no Roma Dunze, no Luther Burden. This game is turning into an injury bowl. A lot of guys not active. Also, Jacobs and Christian Watson are questionable. I don't know who plays in this game, but I'll tell you one thing. I like the Bears. And I hate saying that. I really think the Packers want to put a statement out there and beat the Bears. I like the Bears in this football game. I think that Ben Johnson has created an identity of toughly running the football. Godfrey, you got to turn your volume down so I can hear an echo. I like the Bears in that game.
Me too.
Yeah,
I can see Kyle Magungai and DJ. I'm going to say DJ Swift, DeAndre Swift, both having total 100 yards total each against these guys. I know they don't have Burden. I know I see Zacchaeus stepping up. This is the point where the Bears, I think, have turned the corner in a sense where it's not going to be a pushover game. And you can get to the Packers, man. I saw them lose to the Browns this year. I don't. There's no team that's running away with it in the NFL right now, in my opinion.
No.
And so, who's going to step up? Maybe no one does, but I do think the Bears are primed to win this. I think this is a game that Ben Johnson has to win to even further cement his new coaching identity. I think this is something he is keyed in on, and I just see them taking it. I just see it.
Kyle?
I've gone back and forth. I don't know. I have a weird feeling the Packers pull this out, but it's probably going to be like a 23-20 type of game. I think both teams will find some issues offensively at times on the other's defense. I think it's going to come down to third down. I believe both teams are like top 5 in third down conversions, so it's going to be who can get who off the field more. I think they rally around the Parsons injury on defense, and they kind of corral the Bears' run game. I agree with you, Gene. I like the fact that the Bears will just line up and run it down your throat when they have to. I think that will play well for them in January, especially if they have home games. But, yeah, I'll take the Packers this one.
The NFC South will be decided Sunday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to travel into Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. Kyle, is it Bucks? Is it Panther? Who do you like in this one?
It's so hard figuring out these two teams. I think I think I might go Panthers here. And Panthers probably need to get this one because they do have I know they do meet again in 2 weeks, but the Panthers have the tougher game next week facing Seattle, while the Bucks get like the Dolphins next week. So this is the game the Panthers absolutely have to have in this little mini series between the two. I think it might be an ugly game because both teams have their struggles, but I'll go Panthers. I don't know, 2017 or something. It's just hard to really get behind either team right now.
They both want to lose the division. Godfrey, who do you like in this one?
It's Panthers Bucks, right?
Yes, Panthers Bucks.
Dude, you know what, man? It's so tough because one, I've never seen Todd Bowles lose shit like that, really. And the player, Mike Evans was losing his shit on the sideline, and I'm watching that game, and I'm like, why is Kyle Pitts having the game of his life? And like, it's like they're just like, we're gonna win this. Mike Evans comes back and performs above expectations. That Bucks team is just weird to me, and I feel like the Panthers are ascending. I feel like they're hungry. That defense is pretty ferocious, and I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. It feels weird saying it,
yeah,
but you got to believe your eyes sometimes, and they've played good teams tough this year, even when they lost.
Nobody wants to win this division. They keep losing back and forth.
Yeah,
I like the Buccaneers to win the game. I think they're healthier. I think with Mike Evans and Ibuka and Godwin, I think that's just enough. I think the Buccaneers will end up winning this division because I think they're the better overall football team. So I'll go the Bucks in this one. I'll be on my branch. We'll see how.
But dude, they're 1-5 in the last 6. Like, what's been going on with them? Like, it's almost like, it's like that was the game for them to be like, okay, we're righting the ship. You know what I mean?
Next one, and this is a game that I don't think any of us thought we'd be talking about this late in the season, but the Jacksonville Jaguars at 10-4 are going to the Denver Broncos at 12-2. I'll start with this one because I know I'm going to be the bold one. I like the Jaguars outright. Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, that defense have been playing great football. Last week, Trevor Lawrence had 6 touchdowns. I know it's versus the Jets. I understand. But the Jaguars have won some big games this year. And, somebody might have picked them to win the division. I don't know. It might have been me. I don't remember. What do you like in this one, Kyle?
I mean, I will be honest. The Jags have gone past my expectations for them this year. I just wonder against that Broncos defense. And I agree, both defenses have actually been playing well of late. Maybe I'm falling into the whole, Bo Nix stat line last week where he had a pretty good game. But he's also a quarterback that you feel like the minute you want to give him credit, he'll go out and lay a bit of an egg. But I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. I think it's a game that you'll come out of it thinking maybe better of both teams once the game's over. But I'll just trust that Broncos defense right now to get it done. And Bo Nix probably makes a play late to give them a win.
Godfrey.
Broncos have been playing pretty well. I'm not against the Jags sneaking up on them getting a win. That's a tough win. It's in Denver, right?
Yes, in Denver. Yep.
What's the spread?
3.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, listen,
they're calling us to pick them.
Yeah,
and pretty much. I mean, listen, Duval. Well, you know what though? The guy looks like weird. He looks weird. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's got that team playing. He's got Trevor Lawrence looking better. That defense is playing, and I think the Broncos are due. they're due to have a loss. I just a hunch, and I feel like a lot of people were against them last week, and I wasn't, because I just felt like they're humming, but at the same time they could be exposed. And I like the Jags are just sneaking up on people. Jacoby Myers was a sneaky pickup, which they just signed on the 3-year, a 3-year extension. Sneaky pickup, a very good pickup to give Trevor Lawrence a nice security blanket, and he's been paying dividends for that offense. And I just think they're gonna have to be ready. The Jags are, I think they're on upset alert going in there. I like it.
I'm going to ask you guys a question real quick. And I don't want to go too far here. I know I'm a little crazy. But if I read you Trevor Lawrence's stats for the year, I just want to know if they surprised anyone. 60% completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
He got more rushing yards too, right?
300 rushing yards. I just feel like
hell yeah,
he's got less turnovers than Josh Allen. I just remember reading Josh Allen's stat line, and Josh Allen has more total touchdowns. He's 37 versus 29.
That's big.
The same amount of yards.
That's big.
Well, that's fair. 37 touchdowns versus 29 is big, but 15 turnovers versus 12. That's not big. Same amount of wins.
I see Josh Allen breaking off long touchdown runs sometimes, and I don't know. Maybe he needs to get out of Duval, but I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure, man. I don't have him on that level.
I'm just saying the stats aren't as far off as you think they are.
Oh. Biggest thing's perception.
MVP race is changing the game too. I mean, every week. You know what I mean?
All right. Last game we got to really, really talk about. The New England Patriots traveled to M&T to take on the Baltimore Ravens because I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Patriots coming off their first loss in a while. Ravens 7-7. They're just clawing at a chance at the division. The Steelers have a really tough game. They're playing at Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers being one game up in the division, and then they play again next week, I believe. No, they played last week of the season.
Yeah.
This is a huge game. I understand I'm on my cliff. I understand I'll probably be alone. I've made this pick last night on Wire to Wire. I'll make it here again. I also picked Drake May to win MVP, so I don't think this is going to change anything in that divisional race. I like the Ravens to win this game outright. I think they win the football game. I think New England face a little bit of adversity. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think New England end up still finishing around the 2 or the 3 seed. But I like the Ravens in this one. Kyle, I'll let you go last because it's your team. Godfrey, who do you like in this one?
They're, don't the Ravens still seem kind of off this year, right? I mean,
they do. 100%. You're not wrong to say that. They looked really good last week defensively. Offensively, they still didn't look right.
I'm going Patriots. You want to talk about two teams that also don't want to win the division? Talk about the Steelers and the Patriots.
Steelers and the Ravens, you mean?
Yeah, whatever. The Steelers and the Ravens. Sorry, yeah. They don't want to win the division either. I mean, I'm going with the Pats. I think this could be one of those games where Vrabel gets his guys up and it's like, hey, let's, old NFC, AFC South rivals and, old Patriot Raven rivalry. I just think that, the Ravens did what they were supposed to do last week, but this is a different team that they're coming up. This is an ascending team. And is it in New England or Baltimore?
It's in Baltimore, in M&T.
swings it a little bit, but I'm going to go Patriots on this one.
What do you think? Mike Ray will get it done?
I think if there's a coach who's going to get it done in New England, I think Vrabel does. I think the one thing also, playing in Baltimore used to be a big deal. This year hasn't been that great to Baltimore, and I think that's probably been the biggest surprise for the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens are going to be the more desperate team because they would like to go into next week's game against the Steelers tied as opposed to being down a game still. But I feel like Henderson could have a good day against the Ravens rush defense, and the Ravens' biggest thing that's been killing them a lot has been their red zone. They get into the red zone, they settle for field goals because their play calling gets weird in the red zone. That's something they need to fix if they want to win this game. So I'll take the Patriots. I think they bounce back. I think the loss to Buffalo was a wake-up call, and Vrabel can now get back into them, and I think they'll be ready to go.
Monday Night Football. I mean, I feel terrible that this is. I know it was scheduled weeks and weeks ago, but the 49ers are going into Indianapolis, and you're going to get a full primetime matchup of Philip Rivers. Now, granted, the game versus the Seattle Seahawks wasn't terrible. It's very obvious he has issues throwing the ball downfield.
Yes.
Yeah, Godfrey.
Who are they playing again?
49ers Colts in Indianapolis.
Oh, I love to see the Niners lose, but I mean, I just can't. I mean, listen, it was a valiant try by Rivers. I mean, I don't blame him for going the direction they did. That's a tough game. I got to go Niners on that. I have to. I mean, this is not, it's not cute anymore. This is past. This is, come on.
I agree with you. Robert Saleh is a defensive mind. I can't see him not being prepared for this team. I just can't. If I'm Robert Saleh, I'm like, dude, everybody's in the box. We're not doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I would go. I feel like this may not be a great game on the field, but this seems like a pretty good Manning cast kind of game to watch.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I'll be doing. But I think like you said, Saleh will probably have a great game plan against Philip Rivers, and that's probably going to be the deciding factor. Like I just don't see how the Colts create enough offense to really make it that much of a threat to the Niners. So yeah, give me the Niners. Feel comfortable with that.
Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Great week. I'm ready for it. Tomorrow, Passion and Precision. We will be, looking at the weekend as well and some other stuff. But I'm excited to see Patriots Ravens. I mean, look, everybody knows who watches me, how I feel about the Ravens. So the Patriots win. My energy next week could be another level. I don't know.
I'm hoping so. This is a very low energy show. I haven't been here for a little while. I understand. That's on me.
All good. You detailed it. A lot been going on. Understand. Oh,
yeah.
John's talking about his Coach of the Year question.
What'd you say?
John's talking about his Coach of the Year question.
Coach of the Year. My fault. Coach of the Year. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's give it a minute. It's crazy how good Coach of the Year is. Ben Johnson, Mike Rabel. It sucks because Shane Steichen was right up there. Mike McDonald, Sean Payton. We keep forgetting a lot of these guys. Coach of the Year. Who's your Coach of the Year?
I think based off expectations, I would go Vrabel, but Ben Johnson's making it very difficult because even with him with the Bears, I feel like the Bears' expectations were a little bit higher before the season, so that's why I would give it to Vrabel. But shouldn't overshadow what Ben Johnson's done in Chicago.
What about my boy in Duval?
Duval.
He's done a hell of a job this year, man. No one thought he was going to do shit, including myself, especially after that press conference. They're 12-4, right? No, wait. No,
They're 10-4.
10-4. 10-4. If I said 10 wins from the Jaguars, they'd like sign me up before the season.
I
They're
predict
content. Dude, I think he's done the best coaching job. That's a turnaround and a half. I mean, I know Vrabel's good. I know he helped turn the team around, but there were some pieces there. He had Drake May. They had a decent draft. They had, there were still some pieces there in New England, which is in part why I think they got rid of Gerard Mayo, because they felt like they had pieces in place where they should have saw more improvement. I don't think that they were going into Jacksonville saying, is Trevor Lawrence the guy? Can he get him going? And I mean, he's gotten him going, and that team's played above expectations. So I'm going with my dude from.
There's another name you can throw out there too, D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a job.
D'Amico power play.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah,
a lot of really good coaches in the NFL. A lot of bad trades too. Just being clear. Leonard Williams, Sauce Gardner, both those trades are just going to go down as absolute mind boggler.
Like, meaning like for the Jets, it was a bad trade?
No, it's bad trade for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Give a first and second for Leonard Williams. They have George Pickens there. They got to sign him. You're running into a situation where for no reason you just made it tougher for you to resign the guy that just got there.
Yeah. But that's the Cowboys.
It is the Cowboys. Cowboys country. Let's cry.
Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Dakota Rain. It's been having a decent season.
I mean, if you consider a decent season losing, then that's fine. But they're not going to make the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Shelman, before we wrap up for Sunday Night Football? Or sorry, Thursday Night Football.
Nope. Just enjoy a meaningful game on Thursday night for once.
All righty. Well, enjoy your time. Tune into Passion and Precision tomorrow night, and we'll see you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we are signing out.